And it's me again, the Bluini. Another turn, another luck. Our research goes forward another level, at level 6. And we want Firestorm. Firestorm is a nasty little spell trying to burn everything everywhere. Like every Dominion's 4 battlefield spell targeting the entire battlefield, it still only roughly affects half of the battlefield every second of those little quadratical rectangular things, you know what I mean, those little zones, like those things on a board game, you know what I mean. And yes, another storm castle attempt, this time by one of my stronger armies. Is this? Yes, no, Bane fire darts, not the stronger ones. And of course I'm also here setting my archers to archering, and there is this huge blob of uniform units in the middle. I'm guessing this means some scripting. We love scripting. Don't you love scripting? I sure as hell love it, really. This army is ready to storming this here Preacher's enemy Dominion highway. And hey, there is still some sieges up in the north ongoing. My Devil of Evil Intentions got a chest wound, but is still ready for action. Well, not much I can do here. Except, of course, claiming the throne here. It's the Crystal Throne. Mostly important because I get another strong Crystal Mage out of it. I can then recruit from this Throne province. This should reinforce my other Astral Mages and give me some protection. And here we defeated enemy vampires. But as you can see, the enemy vampires don't count as actually defeated because, it was an enemy Dominion, which means they will just survive. Revive back home. Anyway. And here you see the reason for their defeat. I had tons and tons of death mages immediately starting to summon. And I'm guessing what happened here is, even though the enemy mages could potentially cast spells for longer, my giant stack of units just slowly overwhelmed them. And of course I still have Bane fire darts, and the decay effect also affects vampires. And again a horror shows up. I'm guessing another one of Gav's little surprises for Bogarus. And here we have a battle of our ally. Gav attacks Bogarus and Farah. Yeah, I'm guessing that's a bit uneven. 3 vampires summon a bunch of shit, and the couple of defenders are, well, suicidally charging into a certain death. And then one of them already gets stabbed by a skeleton. Yeah, this was a foregone conclusion. Completely wiped out. And again with the golem, come the fuck on. Okay, this time this really hurt mostly because a lot of mages died, including some of my expensive and hard to replace Harab Elders. So this definitely was a nasty defeat. Also, I guess my tactic of trying to hurt the golem first didn't work out like intended. Yeah, I definitely have to do something about the golem. Mother means time. Currently we have 2 problems while I'm invading Bogarus. Problem 1, super strong vampires with their vampire overlords wreaking havoc. And second, that golem. So with the golem I have to plan a bit in the advance, so the won't be happening anything anytime soon. But I can do something about the vampires, I hope. I had this really crazy idea. We just need a bit of additional research. Then my anti-vampire squad is ready to go, mostly. Anyway, the rest is simple. Just forming up armies. And crushing Bogaroth remorselessly. I see some storm generals have gotten a lot of experience. I'm guessing it's because all of those battles I've been fighting. At least we got some fortresses, and tying the news down here. Since this is a gimmick game, it's slow going, since we have to siege down basically every single province. Not many provinces are free of force, so this will go slow. And Pangaea, yeah. Pangaea has by now taken over most of what was in the water. Pangaea just for some reason didn't attack my single underwater province, which is good. It gives me time to summon more bishop fishes and preach those little level 3 underwater monsters. And set them to preach, I mean. So I can spread my dominion faster. And we need a lot of dominion spread, considering we are fighting someone who can use blood magic on the rest, and we have an ally in the north who can use blood magic to push his dominion, which also coincidentally will crush ours, since we are also south of him. And since our capital is close to his borders, this is bad news. What hell? Since attacking him right now would be a bad idea for my plans, I've settled on this nice little plan where I'm destroying Bogaroth, and when Bogaroth slowly caves in, I'll try to sneak away a throne win, since a second war against Garth doesn't look like would go over well. So, anything else? Ah yes, Pangaea at this point is basically a non-issue. I have death, Garth and Bogaroth have blood. Pangaea, well, could try to wedge itself into blood, but at this point it's too late. Besides, by now everyone can cast spells to fuck over the world. And then Pangaea with its fate, its focus on nature would just be dead man walking. So we on, and then there's of course the player who has been not really making his turns. I'm guessing he is slowly losing out on endurance, fun going down, and so on. Anyway, I'm reinforcing my siege army here since I've lost so many chaff in another battle. I have still 3 or 4 major armies in the field, even after losing 2 of them. I just have to make sure that I'm attacking as many forces as possible, since Bogaroth can only kill 1 of my attacking armies per turn. Then I'm building some more castles here in those empty zones, just in case I'm losing too many armies before I can deal with that golem. And because I still have tons of gold left over, even after recruiting tons of units everywhere and tons of mages everywhere. But anyway, so here there is no one who can actually build a castle in one province, so I recruited a scout. My idea is to fortify those 3 provinces to get more mages, more leaders, more units, and or more obviously to stop enemy raiders in case my offensive breaks down. And we have already breached multiple fortresses again, but you already saw this since I just set one of them to Steam. And Borgaros is on the rage. Nee, Bogus. Yeah, Bogus, a troll who thinks he is a hero, and he just escaped with several blood slaves. Yeah, that's the thing. I have gotten some blood slaves from events, even though I'm not dealing in blood magic. So it's kind of funny. Bogus and his gang chooses to free the couple of blood slaves I have, considering that they're perfectly safe with me since I'm not using blood magic right now. It would have been better if he tried this with my enemies and my ally in the north, but well, that's the random number generator for you. Bogus just wanted to save the completely safe blood slaves in my empire. I still have some of those flying monstrosities and a huge army to script, but let's cut out about 10 minutes of this scripting stuff about now. Oh, scripting done. There's of course this stupid event army sitting right in that stupid forest province. It's kind of hard dealing with that shit. It's just far enough away from my normal routes, it's hard to reach, and most armies I have are too large and would start to starve if I try to walk in there. Well, while dealing with Borgaros, I also have to remember that this one province is under siege and needs reinforcements someday soon, even if it's just a weak independent army sitting there doing nothing. And of course, after cutting out over 10 minutes of scripting, here's more scripting. Hey, yay, yay, yay. And oh wow, 1/3 done. That will take a while. So, well, and I guess I'm still scripting around. Where was I? I just have one info after I did the commentary for last video, and over 12 minutes of this one I stopped and cleaned my dishes. So I'm kind of trying to remember what I was talking about, and I'm still too lazy to just go back in my recording. Also, I tend to mess things up if I do some stuff like this, and I really don't want to accidentally end up with my shit. So for some reason my audio recording jumped forward half a minute, but by now I should have synchronized everything together again. So anyway, where was I? Yes, I was slowly preparing my many astral mages for stuff. Now this one guy here, for example, now has astral 3 and can easily cast anti-magic, which will become important in the future, I hope. So anyway, instead of forcing you to watch me scripting astral spells over and over again, like Astral Gazier, to horror mark enemies, which will become hopefully hilarious if more horrors show up, because horrors tend to target horror marked units and commanders first. So if my astral mages first cast anti-magic and then start spewing Astral Gazier on the enemy, every horror showing up will become a nasty surprise, not for me, but for the enemy side. I call this the tennis special. Anyway, that's all far in the future, and I have still lots of scripting to do. So let's recap instead, because I'm guessing at least some of you watchers will probably be some guys who just wandered in from the internet or something and have no idea what this is about. So let's recap. Did we come to this point? So this is a gimmick game or multiplayer for Dominions 4. What we did before starting the game was go to the settings for the host did. I mean by this, ran into the settings for money and resources and put them all to the possible maximum, which is insane. I think something like 5 times the normal money you could get or something absurd like this. And then to add to this is a late age game. Now there are 3 ages in Dominions 4, early, middle and late ages. And generally the earlier mages have more magic and the later ages have more population, which means more taxes, which means more money for you to recruit units and commanders with. So both combined means that every one of us has an absolutely incredibly high income soon after the game started. And we have also tons of resources, since to recruit units and mages and stuff we need both gold and resources. And since we have both in spades, this means we can have absolutely gigantic armies you would never see in a normal game, and we can freely use units we would normally not use because they are too expensive or not used in entire armies worth of formations because they are too expensive. So this is all grades of messed up, obviously, and it puts another stress on the player, since it's already kind of a clusterfuck to coordinate all your commanders and mages and scriptings and whatever in a normal game, especially when the end draws near. Here everything is 5 times as was 5 times as bad. It's incredibly. So anyway, we still started this mad game, and soon after, well, while the rest of the human players had their wars, I had a weird. I was at peace most of the game. I allied with Gav, the Jewish giants of the north, and we stayed at peace with them. Then there was Xibalba, bats with magic, super, and some frogs helping out. That's Xibalba. And while we contemplated joining an anti-Xibalba coalition, we came too late to the party and Xibalba was crushed because Xibalba's player tried to use blood magic to destroy all our dominions, which means, since dominion is the belief in our fake fantasy gods, this would have meant total annihilation for all of us. So instead he got annihilated. So, and after this that happened, there was Pangea, that's the nature guys with the green flag and the helmet on it. In late age they are more civilized than normal, but normally they're all about woods, forests and ponds and centaurs and all this weird crap you can find in fantasy novels, where there are the good guys or something, woods and stuff, and you know what I mean, I hope, because I'm at a loss for words. They're basically the stereotypical hide in woods and gank normal humans who pass by people. Beastman, let's call them that, it's easier. And in the rest we had fake fantasy Russia with its fake fantasy mages and stuff. In the south there was Yomon, that was fantasy Japan, and they were our first target, and as soon as I wanted to invade them, the player gave up. And then we fought the AI for a while until we crushed them, since the AI in this game is not very smart. Then there was fantasy Aztec land, Miglan, and we crushed them too because the player gave up before I could invade him again. Burgarus on the other side first crushed Ulm, that's fantasy Germany, and then he helped crushing what was left of Miglan. He got the western half of Miglan, I got the eastern half. And then what happened is Burgarus' player changed because the old one also didn't want to play anymore. And so Garth and I invaded him. Mostly because at that point Bogawas was still incredibly fucking huge. Not only that, Bogawas also has access to blood magic, which can do all manners of weird shit, like helping you summon vampires. And I've already told you how superior those units are, and vampire lords and demons do based on blood and all sorts of creepy shit. You just have to kill a part of your population to get blood slaves, to use them up, like magical gems. That's all. Something I find distasteful, so I tend to try to get by without it, which means I either have to try and win pretty damn early on, and if that doesn't work out, I'm just coasting along for the ride, basically. Alternatively, there's also death, because if you replace everything against shambling corpses, you still have a chance, at least I think so. Generally, at some point I break down and still use blood magic just to not lose. Pathetically, but generally I'm basically alone in that. Other players always use blood, and this turns the entire world into an incredibly deranged slaughterhouse sooner or later. And anyway, Garth, my ally, uses blood magic also quite openly. So Pangea was basically left alone, because they have not that much blood access, I think. And late age Kalom is all about death and other spooky things. Also about air, but I wanted to use death magic this time around. And they have some neat evil summons. So if I had planned to change my mind, I could have used some of the blood magic summons to make my way into it, but it's far too late for this now. Yep, sucks to be me, I guess. In case you're wondering about the weird pauses I have in this video, it's because for some reason my audio software really wants to run away. I think it records slightly faster than my cut together recordings run on my Windows Movie Maker program. So every odd minute or so I have to stop everything so that my video can catch up to my audio, or it starts getting desynchronized again. It's kind of nasty, but generally I can sidestep this issue with the shorter recordings by not using Movie Maker until I have my audio commentary, and then I just cut both of it together. Case in point, I'm watching this and I'm seeing I'm already about 6 seconds faster than the video, so brace for now. New pause about now. Okay, I think this was a bit smoother this time, without 5 seconds of dead silence while I'm fucking around with Audacity and Movie Maker. Anyway, where was I? Yes, war. So we invaded Bogarus, and everything went to hell in a basket, golems, and then we are now. Wow, that was a lot faster than I thought it would go. Anyway, more movements, and my Deva of Destruction has now level 5, thanks to that fire helmet. And fire, and hopefully, if my research is ready, this will mean some interesting stuff. I'm still forging stuff, so I'm guessing research still isn't ready yet. Yes, the curse of after commentary. And I'm a bit too lazy for this kind of thing. I guess a real Let's Player would actually watch our own recordings a couple of times, so that little details can be remembered, like what the hell was I still doing at this point. But let's be fair, this recording is about half a year old at this point. So I'm guessing it could have been only slightly better if I had actually watched it. I mean, more than once, I guess. I think I actually did watch this a couple of times back when I made the recording, but back then I had no time to make after commentary, so yeah, now I have a problem. So, Banner of the Northern Star is interesting. What I'm thinking I was doing here, I was searching for a neat astral stuff to forge. And just generally looking up random items, but not actually forging anything. What did I? Amulet of Anti-Magic is a neat thing. It just simply ups resistance against magic, which is kind of important because of a certain golem running around here. Yes, and alchemizing. We are now so far into the game, there is basically no trade of gems left. Mostly because we all need all the gems we can get. So it's rare that you get the opportunity that late in the game to trade gems. Well, it could happen of course, but you shouldn't hold your breath, considering you will only get a trade if you do something really stupid, like give someone who is like preparing an end of the world spell exactly what he needs, in exchange for something which is probably useless to both of you. Of course, sometimes you are in a situation where everything is lost and hopeless, and you just want to help someone else set the world ablaze. In this case, of course, feel free to give him everything you have to help him make the world burn. That's something you can do. But back to this game, I'm still kind of hoping I can sneak by with a win, but at this point I was fully occupied with planning Bogarus' destruction. I'm also replacing my huge losses and starting to gear up this Tartarian Cyclops, one of the gifts I get by casting this insane level 9 spell, Tartarian Gate, basically prying up hellish dimensional gates to get up some poor bastards who got imprisoned by an earlier pretender god. Nasty stuff, most of them are insane. But sometimes you get a good run. Of course, even the good runs are often not reliable, since Shattered Soul is something you can't heal, so most of them will be randomly avoid following your orders. And here I give him Ranger things, and then I put it back because I decided it was a stupid idea. Feeble-minded is a good joke. Normally that means that you can't cast spells anymore. But since Lothar, the Tartarian Cyclops, didn't have any magic spells... Okay, now that I'm thinking about it, was feeble-minded just halving your magic spell? Yes, I think feeble-minded just cut all your paths in half. Shit, I keep forgetting details like this one. I think there was... yes, no, I remember. Mute was the affliction which cut your magic paths in half. Because casting spells is old school here, you have to actually mumble something magically to help your magic out and shit. But feeble-minded, yes, it takes all your magic away. So I guess I never thought about this before, but yeah. That Tartarian Cyclops could have had some magic paths, but I never know because he is feeble-minded now. I guess if I had some nature-related crap I could try healing his feeble-mindedness, but he would still be insane, so it's not really that effective. Besides, I just want to load him up with some cheap crap and then send him into my enemies to murder a bunch of them, and hopefully his insanity won't go in the way. Won't get in the way. English bad. And I'm still thinking about what to forge, but as you see, I'm running out of gems pretty damn fast. I was a bit overzealous with summoning, and forging, especially since I'm a bit cursed with gem income. With my gem income. Generally speaking, even if I take a lot of time and effort into site searching every single province with multiple mages and related spells, I still end up having at best like something 2/3 of the other guys' incomes. I really would like to have more magical gems, but it's kind of a self-replicating curse. First off, I don't have enough gems to cast a spell to give me more income, and then I just keep running out of gems, period, because I just don't have enough gem income. It's kind of a circle or something. One day I hope I have more luck with my site search, but I've playing Dominions 4 and before that Dominions 3 for many years now, and let me tell you, I must be the unluckiest bastard alive when it comes to finding gem sites. I always have shit happening to me, like searching with water mages to get water magic and getting the one water site which instead gives you fire gems. That's kind of the game laughing a bit at me, I guess. But anyway, if you play this game to win, you're doing something wrong. Basically, in Dominions 4 you just have to roll with the punches. The game is basically completely batshit insane. The only alternative is, if you want just to relax, then there's always single player. It's also a bit boring since the AI, even if it has gotten some upgrades lately, it's still rather boring, and if you know what you're doing, you can just crush them. The best the AI can be is tedious, but not really creative. So, ironically, you can play Dominions 4 in 2 game modes. Crazy Pants Insanity against other humans, or boring but reliable against the computer. I mean, sometimes I play in single player, but not for long. I think I've only finished 1 or 2 small games so far in single player, and most of them in a single afternoon because I just could not stop playing until I was finished. Embarrassing but true. Anyway, I'm seeing I'm already talking far too long. This episode is long since over, I think. No, I think I'll... Let me wait a second. I was just misreading what Audacity was telling me. I thought I was already at the end of the episode, but I was just a couple of seconds desynchronized. Anyway, as you see my funny red arrows, the war continues, and hopefully next turn we will have some more impressive battles. But now I'm signing out, Diploini, the end.